This is Sneaker Gears, my name is Levi, and welcome to another Performance Gears episode, where today is actually the follow-up from Personal Gears episode we did last week, where I asked you, our subscribers, in the comments, what sneakers for the end of the year do you want to see compared between the Dame 6, the Curry 7, and the Kyrie 6. And overwhelmingly, you guys wanted to see the Dame 6 with its all-new light strike cushion setup, with its pretty much all-new upper and different take, and really a completely different kind of shoe than what they've done in the past for the Dame line. So really intriguing, full line. Now, that's what you guys wanted. There was a couple votes for the Curry 7. I personally wanted to do the Curry 7. Surprisingly, there was no real votes for the Kyrie 6. So I actually personally went out and tried on the Kyrie 6. So I wanted to give a quick kind of impromptu of that. But we did end up getting the Dame 6 here on the left, or my right, and the Curry 7. So we're going to be comparing these two, seeing if they're worth keeping. Are they different enough? And today's just an initial review. We did play about 30 minutes in each, so that is not a full run by any means. That's really just a try on, see how they fit, did a few sprints, dribbling. So I wanted to give you guys just an initial review and kind of a fit to give you guys an idea, and then hear your thoughts on what you want me to compare specifically, as I always want to do a full comparison and a full breakdown. But hopefully this, guys, helps you out since Christmas is around the corner, and if you guys want to decide what you want to get. So let's get right into it. Alright, so starting with the shoe we didn't get, and that's the Kyrie 6. Now, the Kyrie 6 is, as we expected, very similar to what LeBron line did with his 15 to the 16. Very similar shoe with a lot of little upgrades that definitely make it a better shoe. I felt the zoom more. I tried on the Kyrie 5 to the store, went with it, and tried on the 6. I definitely felt the zoom more. It was a little bit more bouncy. I actually felt the injected Phylon, so I can't really speak to how everyone else is talking about in other reviews, but as a bigger guy, it felt a little bouncier in the heel. Absolutely, there was a distinct difference. Felt a little bit closer to the floor without even having to read the specs. Like, I felt a slight difference there. And then the upper actually fit my foot a little better. Now, obviously, I went with my Kyrie size of 13, which I've been on every Kyrie, and sizing was pretty much spot on. So whatever you wore in your Kyrie 5 or 4 or 2, you can still go with that. Now, the Velcro strap, I actually did feel a little bit more lockdown using it and without. So people are saying you don't need it. You don't, but having that additional lockdown is never a bad thing. So overall, with the additional materials, looking like a better shoe and just refined, and then for the same price point, it's a nice shoe. Now, again, if you have the Kyrie 5, I can't say it's a huge leap. It's refined, it's improved, and I think Nike took a good thing and just made it a little bit better, which is what we want them to do. You don't have to throw away the proverbial baby with the bathwater for every design. So kudos to Nike for that. I honestly, again, if you watched that last video, I'm probably still going to be getting, say, a Nike ID version just because I love the way it looks. But I'm glad I got these two, guys, because these are definitely very different. So today we're going to go over a little more in depth and just our initial thoughts. All right, starting with the Curry 7, this guy is, let's see if it's in focus there. You can see here has a huge kind of spoiler on it, so it acts as a spring plate coming underneath. Super aggressive traction. And I think the biggest thing they did is not update the cushioning, which you see here with this kind of comes up, your footbed, your foot still sits down here. So this is really just for containment, so you're within the midsole. And then you have your Micro G below with a little bit of hover on top. But these materials, they are, for lack of a better word, terrible. These are, now they may work, they may be functional, and I don't want to discredit its performance, but this just feels like a cheap shoe. They charge $10 more, and I 100% would take this upper over it. Now, that being said, a lot of people didn't feel they had the containment where they wanted it with this shoe, and I thought it was great. So I can definitely feel a little bit more containment in this with the kind of more firm plasticky materials, but it works. This feels like overall a much more rugged and durable version, from the traction to the materials to the upper. Now, sizing wise, I was able to do a 12 and go with my true size on this, and it was wide foot friendly and loved it. And after just trying this and running with this, I almost want to get another pair of these. Now, again, you guys can take a look here. If you're wondering, man, that looks a little bit bigger. It is. I had to do a 13 on this because this, the middle of the foot here, is super narrow. Just to squeeze my foot in here, I definitely had to do a 13. Now, I do have a video here showing you where my toe is, and lengthwise, it's still not that bad. It's not super long. I have a little bit of space in the my toes, and I do enjoy it, but I definitely had to go a size up. Now, I've been a 13 on most of my Curry experience, from 1 through 6. 6 is the only one I've been able to do a size 12. So this is more true to what the Curry line has done. If you like a more secure fit or a tighter fit, definitely the Curry 7 is going to be for you. My wide footers, you may have to avoid this. We'll see how this breaks in. Now, as far as the cushion, it's definitely something in store. It actually felt pretty good running around in this. And again, only 30 minutes. I did 6 sprints in each shoe. It felt okay. It was kind of like how Nightwing in his review said it. There was nothing special at first. Didn't quite feel any bounce. It was similar to what we got in the 6, where I wasn't getting any feedback really from the shoe, but I wasn't getting any sharp, I guess, impact into my knees or my body. Just doing some quick jumps and running around. I guess it did the job, but this is something that, obviously, for that kind of money, $140, you want something that's a little bit more special. And it definitely does fall short of that. Comparing this to something like the Ominous from New Balance, you feel that being special immediately, where it's a little bit softer, you have a little bit of court feel, and it's definitely something that feels more worth the money with the construction and the materials than this, where this falls short in a few areas. Now, the highlight of the shoe, like every new Under Armour that I feel, is really the traction. Now, the reason I say every other Under Armour shoe is because if you guys have seen the 303, this is really the older brother to it. Traction's a little bit more aggressive. Cushion is quite a bit better because I couldn't quite comfortably wear the 303s, whereas this is still okay. It's just enough, but the materials, the way it fits, all that's very similar. Now, you're paying more money for this, but you're getting a little bit more as far as the durability. Now, the way this feels here, I did feel a little bit of a spring back, just ever so slightly, with that little bit of propulsion. Nowhere near what Jordan Brand does, but definitely a welcomed feel, which they really haven't done in the Curry line, where you actually feel kind of that propulsion pushing you forward. So overall, first fit wasn't impressive. Obviously, we're going to be wearing this on 5 different courts. I'm going to put about 10 to 15 hours in before I do my review and comparison. So if you guys tune back in, you're going to be able to see a full review on this and comparison coming from a guy who's about 5'11", 240, to give you an idea of what I am and what you should expect. So if you're about 100 pounds lighter than me, these are probably going to feel a lot more comfortable. As well as if you're a high flyer, you may have a different feeling on the cushion as far as the impact and the force you may put out. But overall, we'll see how this goes. The Dame 6. All right, this color is beast. Now, starting off right on the bat, these have just been released, and Adidas has already had these for 25% off, for 40% off. And now this colorway sold out on Adidas.com for those prices, so most of you guys did have to pay full price. I was able to get it at 25 off, so I'm kind of happy with that. But that does tell me, I guess, unfortunately, obviously I would love to have a sponsorship. Don't pay full price for the Dame 6. If they're going on sale this close to when they just release, you're definitely going to be able to find these on sale. So now that's a good thing, because this is $110, and by and large, you're going to be able to get it cheaper than that. But that doesn't mean you're getting less shoe. That's just exciting because it's a better value. Now, all that being said, how does this fit? Well, I was able to go with a size 12. A very big difference in going to 13, and this is fits me very similar to how the Curry 6 fit. The size 12 on this, and I'll have a video here you guys can kind of show, my toe is right where I want it at the edge, where I have maybe a little bit of space. Wide footers, rejoice, this thing fits with plenty of room. You can really see how it just kind of molds to your foot, and these kind of straps going into the shoe, where I know Nike has their fly wire and Jordan used to have where they call that whatever they wanted, their flight web, but it pulls you in, you feel it securing you down without much pressure. I have a wide midfoot, but it doesn't matter if you have a wide toe box, a wide midfoot. I mean, this thing is going to work for my wide footers. Now, if you have a narrow foot, I think you're okay. Maybe go down half a size. Again, going with my true size 12, this is something I really enjoyed. And it's honestly like the Curry and the Dame line switch places in fit. I had to go with a 13 on this just to squeeze my foot in this. And that's because I had these kind of plates on either side, so the midfoot really couldn't fit in this shoe. So putting these side by side, again, this is a lot longer, and as you can imagine, I couldn't quite get a great fit on this. Even if I went bigger or went true to size, it just didn't work. So all of my narrow footers out there who really enjoy the Dame 5, you're probably going to enjoy the fit on the Curry 7 more, so keep that in mind. Now again, for all those who enjoyed the Curry 6 as a wide footer, it looks like the Dame 6 might be your weapon of choice for this year. Now, working our way down the cushion, this is Light Strike. Now, I do have the Adidas Next levels that do have supposedly more Light Strike in them, but they never felt anywhere near as soft as this. I did try it on Harden 4s, and those are super narrow. I honestly could barely walk in the store with them, and the size 12 already felt a little bit big, so I really didn't want to do a 12.5 or 13. So I'm not going to be reviewing the Harden 4 simply because they really do not fit if you have a wide foot in any aspect, a wide midfoot, a wide toe box. And walking around in those, the Light Strike did feel softer, but it also felt really thin. So just doing some simple jumps in store, I could feel the shot coming up my body. Not so with this guy. So now a little trick that Adidas did, if you look here, this suede right here is actually still foam, but your foot sits right underneath it. So just like the Curry 7, your foot is within the midsole, which I really like when they do that, just because it gives a little bit more containment without having to have some super stiff material up here. This side, you can see how thick that Light Strike really is. Now overall, again, just doing some quick sprints in it, it felt a little bit softer. It had a slight rebound, and it felt honestly kind of like the Curry 6 hover foam with that little bit of rebound when you're running. I wouldn't say bouncy, but you definitely feel some energy return, as well as being a little bit softer than the hover. It was delightful. I don't know how else to put it. So hopefully that gets better. Now, people have said Light Strike is going to be similar to Lunar, where it's very light, but it's going to bottom out soon. We'll see that. I'm going to put the time into it, but so far the fit and the cushion have been spot on, and the materials feel about like what you're going to get for $110, which is why this is overall right now a better value than $140, where this has some of that suede in the toe box. You can kind of see it right here. It has some suede right on the inner panels, on the lateral side, and it's a fake suede, but it does add a little bit of touch. I do like it. Has a very thin tongue and kind of a thin soft peel here. I don't know what that really is for. It feels like it should be able to pull that back, but it doesn't really bother you. And again, this is 30 minutes of play, so we'll see how that can agitate or not down the line. Now, as far as the traction, now I know I talked a little bit about the traction on the Curry 7. That felt off the bat very similar to what we got on the Curry 7 to the Jordan 34. No squeak, just solid biting, and I played in the court that generally is very dirty, and on a court that I slipped on 4 times in my LeBron 17s. Thankfully, no slips in the Curry 7, and again, I was doing some dribbling moves, running up and down the court, some suicides. Not a whole test, but overall, it performed kind of how you would expect something that aggressive to perform. This guy was squeaky and bit hard and was delightful. Again, I enjoyed it. Now, I follow Shaden Souls on Instagram. He has a YouTube channel. Guys, check him out. He plays on 4 different courts, and his traction has been, based on his review, just really spotty, where he's had some good traction, but overall really bad, especially with that clear part where it just really absorbs dust. And you guys, I don't know if we can get a focus on that. You can see the dust on there. And I do have a comparison video here between the Curry and the Dame, and you can see the Curry doesn't really pick up dust as much, a little more space between that herringbone pattern. But at least initially, it was a great run. Like, I definitely am excited to wear this again, whereas the Curry 7s, I'm kind of like, all right, let's get the review done. We'll see if it works or doesn't work. We'll see if I'm going to keep it or not. But this has definitely been a delight. I do love how you have kind of these natural outriggers You can kind of see how it bows out just a little bit. So it's a little bit wider in the toe box. Again, wide foot friendly, a lot more great lateral stability, as well as just a very stable platform, being very flat. So overall, very different shoe than we got in the Dame 5. The Curry 7 is a very different shoe than we got in the Curry 6. If you guys were looking to double up on one or the other, we're not really seeing any more bounce cushioning. The Dame 5, the next bounce shoe you're able to get is going to be the D Rose 10. And traction on that by everyone's account has been terrible. So if you like bounce cushioning, get another pair of Dame 5s on the low. Light Strike, on the other hand, I'm liking a little bit better. Now that's personally for me. A lot of you guys like bounce out there, and apparently Light Strike is going to be the new wave for Adidas. Now I did actually bring some Boost versions with me of Adidas shoes, because you can't really find Boost anywhere outside of the hugely cushioned T-Mac, but we'll have a full review and comparison on this in the coming weeks. So guys, hopefully that helps you a little bit with sizing, gives you a little bit of details, my thoughts on it. We're going to have a full review and breakdown coming soon. As always, really appreciate you guys. Thank you for the feedback in the comments where you allow us to make these videos. As far as our Velocity Cushion insoles, guys, all the shipments should have gone out. Let me know for Black Friday with our sale there. I did try these in the Curry 7 very quickly for about 5 minutes in there just to make sure they fit comfortably. And I can say, yes, they do. And yes, it's cheating because now we're putting a max cushion setup. And this in most Under Armour shoes works amazing. So I didn't really have any doubt, but obviously you never know. You want to try it out in each shoe. So fitment wise does work. So if you like the fit in the Curry 7, you enjoy the traction, and you just want to increase the cushion, this is definitely going to be an alternative for you, where thickness wise there's no problem, and you're definitely getting quite a bit of bounce. Now I want to test the shoe as is, so I don't really use our Velocity cushions unless I'm enjoying them personally, just because I want to give you guys a fair review. But you can, again, check those out. If you want to add cushion to your shoes, you can get them on sneakergears.com, as well as you can support our site as well as just the channel at our Patreon, which I'll put the link in the description below. But guys, really appreciate you. This is Levi with Sneaker Gears. I'll come at you later.